Yesterday they came and promised us housing if we voted for the ruling party, but are not doing that anymore. They promised us water, a house, but they always forget about it.
Even though many here have benefited from housing programs, until now, Catalina has not.
First off, thank you everyone for watching my videos. I appreciate it very much. So, everywhere I look, I see Bernie Sanders delivering free college tuition, and then a bunch of these other little memes and things on Facebook, everybody promoting, hey, look, this country has free this country has free this. So the question is, can the government actually give you free something without it impacting on you in any other way? Or even really give you what they describe as free, as you know what free is. But you can see where I'm kind of going. But here, let's start right away. And I cannot believe, by the way, it is 2015. And still, people kind of are like, oh yeah, they're going to give us free stuff, and that's it. So anyway, so when we talk about free money, people think of this. Or they think of this. But quite often, you actually get this. Now, you're going to ask, you're going to think I'm crazy. You say, oh, this is another crazy guy. Well, let me fill it in a little more. Okay, so let's start here. We're going to use the Bernie Sanders freebie first before we even talk about anybody else's. So let's hear what he has to say and how much money he's going to get and how he's going to use it.
Tuition free.
Where's the money going to come from?
A tax on Wall Street speculation. And that's exactly where it should talk about Wall Street. What we're going to impose is what exists in dozens of countries around the world, a very modest tax on the transference of large amounts of stock.
What does that mean? Very modest. Is that going to pay for tuition-free education?
More than that. This is a very effective and progressive way to raise money. The estimate is it could bring in as much as $300 billion a year.
You think Republicans?
Let's take a look at this. So what did he say? It was $300 billion that he will have to tax. So, well, let's look at some GDPs of states. And I pulled this up. I leave the web address above so you can check it out for yourself. And this was a comparison between countries and what the United States bring in. But it's going to make my point for me. So, 300 billion. So, the state of Nevada's GDP is $200 billion. So, Bernie Sanders would essentially, if that tax was here and alone in the state, he would basically wipe out the state, and Nevada would still owe him for his program just to give free tuition, nothing more. You would figure if you're going to wipe out an entire state in the country that it would be something good for him, like say, I'm gonna stop global warming, or I'm gonna save every whale on the planet, and they won't even be endangered for the next 100 years. If you're going to wipe out a complete state and take all those millions and millions of people and throw them to some sort of starvation, if you had taken all their money. But not only Nevada, let's see, which other state? Michigan, he would have wiped out. Connecticut, Indiana, he would have wiped out. Louisiana, Missouri, Tennessee, now we're Virginia, right? Washington, D.C. makes $350 billion GDP. But if we go to the state where he wants to do this, New York somewhat, which is $621 billion is their GDP. That's what they make if you had to give them a lump sum and say, hey, how much do you make? Well, that's what you make. He would basically wipe out a third of the money in that state. He would tax that and take that to the government. So do you understand now that his tax would have massive implications on you? The economy is this. It is a baked pie. It has a beginning and it has an end, and it doesn't go farther past the end. And every year you could say we rebake this pie. And so, what is the government to this pie? Well, the government is this man to the pie. He is a man who would like to eat the pie every once in a while. The problem is he likes to eat a lot of the pie, and when the pie goes away, that means there's less pie for you and for me and for everyone else. And then when we are like this woman, we look into our wallet and we find, what? Where is the money? I don't understand. There should be more money here. Well, there should be, shouldn't there? But there's not, because why? It's with this man here. This man, and what does this man do? Well, this man owes a lot of money, right? To other places in the world. And this man pays those people, right? But the free myth is put out like this. Chile has free healthcare. Brazil has free this, or free college. Germany has free college. All these places have free college. This is not true. let's go back to that Denmark ad. They have all of these free things. So are they essentially free? Well, of course not. The government, I'll say it this way. If these actually are the people, which they're not, but the people of Denmark are trading their economy to the government, or control of the economy to the government, to get these free things. And the government's exchange rate is not very good. They give you this and they destroy everything you could have. And a good example of the $300 billion that wipes out a complete state over what we want to tax. It's very easy for governments to go overboard. Thank you for listening to me quickly go over this. But simply enough, their definition free is not what you believe to be, or I believe to be free. If I give you something, I expect nothing. I expect to get nothing in return, nor do you expect to give me something in return. Government expects you to, at minimal, vote for that candidate and then allow him control to tax large amounts of money to the community which you live in. And the only way you can get out of it is maybe live on Mars and pay tax of Mars, right? Maybe you can go to other states, right, and get away from the taxes. But at minimal, even if you were living on Mars and you came back to the United States to get whatever there is free, the mere fact that that politician pulled all that money out of the economy means that the people have less of everything, less of schools, less of money. Food goes up, gas goes up. You get impacted on this way, not directly with a guy just taking the money out, but when you show up to go to the movie theater, it costs more. When you go get gas, it costs more. You go buy a car, the car costs more. Your money is worth less. That's how they get you. And let me end this with a bunch of great video clips of there's I think a country there where the politicians are offering free food if you'll vote for them. They're giving you free. And it's funny enough, we only ever see free things being offered, or they call free, during election time. So if you're a fan of getting free things, I recommend to you that you protest and try to get election every year. So if you have an election every year, these politicians will come out and give you free all the time. You have free stuff being offered to you all year round. So anyway, thank you so much. Please comment away. You can tell me how I'm an idiot and how I'm stupid and I don't live in the real world. I hope I do live in the real world. So anyway, go comment away. Thanks.
The fight of political parties, there's 99 communities in this area, and every 4 years politicians come to get people's votes.
The Wichi indigenous community, and says she is tired of politicians promising change.
Yesterday they came and promised us housing if we voted for the ruling party, but are not doing that anymore. They promised us water, a house, but they always forget about it.
Arrive at the party office. They're given a ballot and a ticket to get a sandwich.
Once people vote, they come here and get a sandwich.
The ruling party and the opposition.
Things that through more and more rules and regulations and confiscatory taxes, the government was taking more of our money, more of our options, and more of our freedom.
Free government money could be yours today in the form of a Pell Grant, Home Grant, Business Grant, and many more.
Everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, you know. He gave us a phone.
He gave you
a phone.
He gonna
do more.